Good member from the 8th Legislative District, Representative Barnard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On this President's Day, I am deeply honored to commemorate the births of President George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Washington and Lincoln stand among the greatest figures in human history. Whether we assess them by their actions, their character, or the impact of their work on humanity's course, they undeniably hold a place among the greatest. As we pay tribute to these remarkable leaders, it is essential to consider what sets them apart, to reflect on their distinctive qualities. What distinguishes them from others? I believe it's not just their character, their nobleness, or intelligence, but their perfect faith in the self-evident values which lie at the very foundation upon which our nation stands. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence continues to inspire people around the world to strive for freedom and equality. However, as familiar as we are with those words of the great document, it is the last sentence that reveals the level of their devotion. Pledging to each other their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor in the pursuit of realizing those liberties. That's how Washington and Lincoln lead us even today, a sacred devotion of natural rights. They are great leaders because they knew that although those rights are paramount, their value lies not in words recorded on paper, but in a willingness to sacrifice so that liberty can be realized. They are extraordinary, yet humble men, willing to sacrifice self-interest, personal attachments, reputation, and even life itself for the sake of people they never met, those who came before them and those who will come long after they are gone. One president was there for our nation's birth, and the other was there for its healing. George Washington's ability to lead and unify was exemplified by soldiers who, marching without boots, blankets, or clothes, followed him into battle. Washington didn't promise them lives filled with comfort or riches, but the hope of a nation established in liberty, where the virtue of that liberty was sacred and so valuable that men were willing to march through snow and ice with bare and bleeding feet. President Lincoln guided our nation through the Civil War, arguably the bloodiest and most profound moral, constitutional, and political crisis in our history. Lincoln's leadership was characterized by both strength and humility. True to form at Gettysburg, he said, "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here." He honored the overwhelming sacrifices made for the sacred virtue of unity and equality. Frederick Douglass praised his friend, and he wrote, "While Abraham Lincoln saved for you a country, he delivered for us from bondage." So how can we honor them this President's Day? Not merely with our words, but by forging a future that embodies the very principles of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Let us honor them by carrying their torch forward in the spirit of that priceless heritage and unifying principles that forged and then healed our nation. And by ensuring through our own sacrifice that future generations continue to live in the best nation the world has ever known.